Assalamualaikum and hello. In this video, I'm going to continue with the next subtopic 1.3 stoichiometry. These are the learning outcomes that you have to learn based on this subtopic. In this video, I'm going to focus about balancing chemical equation. For your information, a chemical equation shows a chemical reaction by using symbols for reactants and products. Usually, for reactants will be written on the left side of the equation, while the products are on the right side. And then you have to balance the equation. For example, I have here example 1, where you got this equation. All of this at the left side, we call it as reactants. And all of this at the right side, we call it as products. For example, I have copper, 2 of it. 2 copper reacts with oxygen molecules. So all of these are the reactants. And the next one I have CuO, 2 of them. They are reacted together to form my products. So this is the general information about reactants and products in a chemical equation. When you want to balance the equation, you have to make sure the total number of atoms of each element are same both sides. And the number A, B, C, D in the previous slide showing as a relative number of molecules reacting. And we call it as stoichiometric coefficients. So, I'm going to introduce to you inspection method in order to balance a chemical equation. So let's go to inspection method. The first one, you have to write the unbalanced equation. Please, at this point, you have to know how to put the correct chemical formula for reactants and products. Next one, you have to balance the metallic element first or polyatomic ions if you got any. And then next, followed by non-metallic atom. The next step, balance hydrogen and oxygen atoms. And last but not least, please ensure the total number of atoms of each element is same on both sides of the equation. So in brief, I put it to you, MinHo. So MinHo, metal, I for ions, polyatomic ions, if any, N for non-metal, and H for hydrogen, last but not least, O for oxygen. And you have to repeat again if needed until both sides are balanced. So this is the acronym for inspection method, a method that we use to balance a chemical equation. So let's go to example 2. I have here this equation. Ammonia reacts with copper oxide to produce copper, nitrogen gas, and water. So in order for me to choose what is the best solution for balancing this equation, I'm going to follow step by step MinHo. So the first one, you check the metal first. So you got copper metal, both sides got the same value, so settle for M. Next, we got no polyatomic ions, so I'm going to skip and straightway go to the non-metal. I have nitrogen here, 1 on the left and 2 on the right. So I put 2 here. So the next step, I'm going to balance hydrogen, MinHo, Ho, H for hydrogen. So we got 3 hydrogen here times 2. So there will be 6 of them. And you got only 2 here. So I'm going to put 3 in front of it so that I got the same number, 6 hydrogen atoms, both sides. And then I have to balance oxygen, which will be 1 on the left, but I got 3 on the right. So I'm going to put here 3 of it. And last but not least, you have to double check because you already disrupt here where you got copper metal all together with oxygen. So I'm going to put 3 for my copper on the right side so that I will have my final equation that is already balanced. So this step 5 is very important because you have to double check again. So let's go to the next one. I have this example 3. I want you to balance this chemical equation. So what you have here is in form of sentence, the name of that compound. So how you want to do that? You need to understand a compound formed from a mixing of ions, whether they are monoatomic ions or polyatomic ions, but they are between two different charge of ion. For example, I'm going to determine the formula for calcium hydroxide. So calcium ion is Ca2 plus and hydroxide ion is OH minus. So when I do cross multiply, I will have CaOH2 as my chemical formula for calcium hydroxide. And then I have plus carbon dioxide. I suppose everyone should know the chemical formula for carbon dioxide is CO2 produce. Next, I have calcium carbonate. So calcium is Ca2 plus. Carbonate ion is CO3 2 minus. So when I do cross multiply, I will have CaCO3 as the chemical formula for calcium carbonate, and plus water is H2O. So you are going to balance this equation right now. So I'm going to follow Minho. So the metal one, I have calcium, one of it for each side, and then there is no polyatomic ion. Next, I'm going to determine non-metal, none of it as well. So I will skip that part, go to hydrogen. So I have 2 hydrogen here and 2 hydrogen here. Both are balanced. And last but not least, I have 2 plus 2, 4 oxygen atom on the left. And I got 3 plus 1, 4 oxygen atoms on the right. So this equation is already balanced. So I leave it try this one so that you can practice how to balance the chemical equation based on these few examples. Try to apply Minho, acronyms for inspection method. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!